LinkedIn announces sweeping reforms to platform language requirements in historic Let People Talk Like Humans Again initiative. LinkedIn, the world's largest professional networking platform, announced a landmark revision to its terms of service that will, for the first time, permit users to employ personal pronouns, honest emotions, and sentences that a normal person might actually say out loud. Personal pronouns restored. The most significant reform lifts LinkedIn's long-standing prohibition on the word I at the beginning of celebratory posts. Since 2017, users wishing to announce a new job, promotion, or completion of a routine task have been required to begin with the word excited, as if they were a telegram from 1923 or a dog that just learned to type. We recognize that the sentence, "excited to announce I've joined Deloitte," sounds like someone removed the subject from the sentence with a pair of surgical pliers, said LinkedIn Chief Language Officer Brenda Tan. Users may now say, "I'm thrilled to announce," or even, and we know this is radical, "I got a new job." The companion phrase, "humbled to announce," has also been flagged for retirement. No one in recorded history has ever been humbled by their own promotion, Tan added. We checked. Happy to, no longer required when offering things you are doing on purpose. Under the old TOS, users soliciting business were required to frame each offer as though they were doing the recipient a huge emotional favor. A freelance designer could not simply say, "I can send you my portfolio," but was instead obligated to write, "Happy to send you my portfolio," as if sharing a PDF were an act of spontaneous generosity that happened to include a rate sheet. Going forward, users may offer services using declarative sentences, Tan said. You can now say you'll do the thing. You don't have to pretend it's Christmas each time someone asks about your rates. Ban lifted on stories that don't end with a lesson. Previously, all LinkedIn anecdotes, including stories about coffee shops, airport delays, and interactions with taxi drivers, were required to conclude with a list of takeaways, or the phrase, "and that's when I realized," followed by an insight the author thought of first and built the story around. Now, users may now tell a straight story. A post about a rude waiter is no longer required to contain, "This taught me 3 things about servant leadership." We ran the numbers, said LinkedIn's head of data science, Amir Patel. 98.6% of LinkedIn life lessons were reverse engineered from the moral backward. Someone decides he wants to post about radical candor, and then invents a child who said something profound at a grocery store. We're done. Engagement pods and performative comment enthusiasm declassified. LinkedIn will end its requirement that users respond to each acquaintance's post as though they witnessed the moon landing. Comments such as, "This is everything," "So needed," and "Wow, just wow, more people need to hear this," on a post about someone completing a Coursera certificate will be recognized for what they are: a reciprocal engagement agreement between 2 people who never met in person. We will label comments that are part of known engagement pods, said Tan. If someone writes, "Absolutely brilliant insight, Joe," on a post that says, "Communication is important," we think the public needs to know that Joe commented, "Love this," on that person's post 11 minutes earlier. Agree? No longer permitted as a closing argument. LinkedIn posts may no longer end with the word agree or thoughts. These devices, which frame an uncontroversial opinion as a daring act of intellectual courage, have been reclassified as a Class 2 platform nuisance. When someone writes 4 paragraphs about how companies should treat employees with respect and then writes, "Agree?" as if this might be controversial, it is not a discussion prompt, Patel said. It is a like farming mechanism, and we will treat it as one. Repeat offenders will be terminated. Mandatory humility backstory requirement removed. Users announcing a success will no longer be required to first describe a period of suffering, rejection, or near homelessness to justify their achievement. Under the old TOS, a post about getting a book deal had to begin with 2 paragraphs about sleeping on a friend's couch and eating canned soup. A promotion required a minimum of 1 reference to imposter syndrome. People were fabricating entire hardship arcs just to post about a Series A round, said Tan. We had a user who wrote 800 words about growing up without running water, before announcing he'd been named sales manager at a mid-size plumbing supply company. It was too on the nose. We had to act. Going forward, users may announce news without first emotionally waterboarding their audience. The phrase, "If you'd told 22-year-old me that one day I'd," will trigger an automatic content warning.